Coming up in today's video.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another Magical Moon video. There has been loads going on the farm with all those birthday celebrations, but it's back to business. We're going to catch up with a very unique resident in a bit, but first things first, let's have a guided tour of this beautiful lorry. So here we are up, well, it feels like you're up in the clouds. The kids couldn't believe it. It is a bird's eye view. It's a long way up, and Rupert, you might see some bedding in the background there. He's taken to camping out. It's his new favourite place, and it is a lovely space to be. There's all what you'd expect. There's even a radio cassette player. So she is old, but she's a really solid unit, and it's got a very large engine, and we'll go a bit more into that just briefly on the details, but it's been really well looked after. It's been loved, and yes, she's a little bit rough around the edges, but that's okay. She's very, very practical. I think our expression is, it's not pretty, it's practical, but she is a bit of both, and it's a lovely, comfortable space. We've got lots of gears. We have a one gear stick, but there's many gears. I think there's about 18 gears in total. Sounds complicated, but actually once you get your head around it, it is very, very easy, and it's much more manoeuvrable than you would think, just because of the wheelbase at the front. It's a very short unit at the front of her, so we've got the big trailer behind, but it's, as I say, surprisingly manoeuvrable, and the turning and getting in and out is actually easier than having a rigid lorry, one of those big rigid box lorries. I really enjoy driving it. It's such a nice place to be, but equally it's going to provide us if we ever have to evacuate. And some of you have mentioned, where would we go? And I did mention, I think in a Patreon video, that we've got that massive equestrian centre up the road. It's a big international venue called Moncontour. They have normally about 140 stables that are free. We've also spoke to the owner and obviously Luke, our friend, who manages the equestrian centre, and there's no problem there. He'd actually put a call in when those Bordeaux fires were there and saying, if anyone needs to come, just let them come in, and it's really going to be useful. We have other options as well close by with friends, but let's hope she's never needed for that. But what a wonderful thing that you guys all made possible, and it truly is. Even now we kind of pinching ourselves. We obviously go past her and she's out the front of the house. Who would believe that it was, well, it would have been possible, but you guys got it over the line, and it's the shape of things to come. I think she's going to be useful in so many other ways with those communities and being able to help. And obviously there's going to be other jobs along the way, and she's so versatile because she is a tractor unit with a trailer. We can have all those different configurations if need be, so it's not just going to be sitting idle. We'll keep the wheels turning. Let's start her up, we'll move her forward, and then we'll have a look round the back. So just out from the cab, and we're at the side of the lorry, and you might be able to see if I move to the side, there's a tank there. That isn't the fuel tank. We're going to go around and have a look. It's quite a large tank. It's a hydraulic tank, and that's just another string to her bow. So if we ever need to couple up to a trailer with a hydraulic need, one of those big tipping trailers or one with a grab or any configuration, she's just got that, which is such a useful, well, it's a bonus. You might be able to see there's a couple of massive batteries here, and there's the air tanks. As we mentioned, you know, it's been really well maintained. The tyres are almost brand new, and someone said about protecting them from the sun. And when they sit idle, well, when the lorry sits idle, as I mentioned, I don't think she's going to spend too long sitting still. And that is one of the concerns really with any mechanical, or especially a big mechanical unit like she is, just keeping things turning, keeping them moving. They don't do too well being stood about, but there's always going to be a use for her, and we're going to make sure that we do those regular trips out just to keep everything going, and obviously I'll be able to keep her maintained. I spent many years working on, well, everything from motorbikes up to big trucks. It was formerly one of my jobs, so the ongoing costs aren't going to be the maintenance costs. They're going to be very minimal. Of course there might be the odd big one, but generally just having a look around, it's amazing at how well they're engineered and how long they last. Let's just have a nip round the front and I'll show you something a little bit more interesting. So here we are, we're at the front, and as you can see there's a few little cosmetic issues going on, but I'm sure given time we're going to put our own magical stamp on the lorry. And there's been lots of ideas, and I think she could do with a little bit of colour, a little bit of decoration, and just to tell everyone who she is and what she's about. So maybe we'll have those logos, the emblems, and yeah, we can work our way down, let the kids use their imagination. But practically they've just about covered everything, and here in the grill is this very handy little thing, and you might be wondering what it's for. Well, unless you've got a pair of stilts or a ladder, this is so if you're a diligent driver you can come up here and you can clean your windscreen, check your wiper blades before going on to obviously check all the other levels. Let's go around the side. So now we're on the other side, and this is really where it gets serious, and you might have seen those shots of me putting some fuel into this enormous tank. I reckon we could go from here to the UK and back again on one tank. It's about 500 litres, I'm guessing, around there, so like 2 big barrels worth. And you might be able to see the cone here, and that's just for that hydraulic pipe which can be hooked onto the trailer. There is a fitting up there, but I'm not sure it's at the right angle, so I might have to do a little bit of fettling just so that it's nice and relaxed and I can keep it hooked on, and then we could do away with the cone. But yes, as I say, I don't think there's too many problems with range, and as we mentioned before, we're not going to have to go too far if we have to evacuate, but equally if we've got a job to do, it's nice to know that you can fill up, and there's pretty much nowhere in Europe that you're not going to be able to reach on one tank's worth. And it doesn't really matter. It's surprising that even fully loaded, you think it would be a lot more economical. It really, even this fully loaded with all the animals, is only just scratching the surface. She has a 12-litre 6-cylinder engine, over 400 horsepower. If you understand all that, then you'll really appreciate what keeps her moving. Let's have a look in the back. As you can see, we're now at the back, and this is the ramp area, and now 2 individual ramps that come down. They're all solid aluminium, and the good bit about that, we'll talk a little bit more without sending you all to sleep when we get inside about how it's constructed and what they've done to repurpose it. But this is a really good addition. Solid aluminium, it's never going to rust, and it's nice and strong, and it's light, so it's not too heavy to get up and down. voila. This is like a horse box in itself. Amazing. Lots of lights. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You could put some sheep in here. Or a few dogs and chickens. Oh look. We've got the start list for the first class. I'm now at the front of the trailer and I'm standing over where the wheels of the lorry are, and this is a deceptively large space. It's got its own little ramp, so whatever animals come up into here can be secured with the bulkhead. It is very large. It's, as I say, deceptively large, and as you walk down you then get a sense of the space with all these other individual bays. We call them partitions, could call them stalls, but it's just where the horses will stand, and they stand sideways across the trailer. We've got the option of moving stuff around. There's plenty of options for where we can mount the divisions, but someone's lovingly made this, and they've done it, well, they've done fantastically to get something as usable as this is, and to have it as durable. So on the floor we've got that solid steel plate, and then they've put a granulistic rubber, which is a liquid rubber, and it contains little bits of, it looks like tarmac, but it's very, very soft and very grippy, which is fantastic for the horses. They've also put these boxes in front, and at one time or another you can see there's those little saddle racks, and we just found a start list for a competition. So you can only imagine all the hustling and bustling with all the excitement of the kids and those little ponies ready to go and do their thing. And of course here it's going to have a different purpose, but a very important one as that. And yeah, the more you look round it, the more useful she becomes. There's so many options here and so much to think about. And for us, just incredible that we're even, well, I'm even standing here, Jenny's videoing me, and we're still pinching ourselves as to what a fantastic thing and what a great option for all our animals here. So at the other side of the lorry there is a little door, and it's a groom's door, what we refer to as a groom's door, and it means you could get in, and it comes right behind that big open space at the front, just into where all the other horses are. So really useful if you're on the road and you just want to pop your head in and have a look at what's going on. But we've also got the option, and nowadays we're so fortunate with technology to have things at our disposal, and they do those little remote cameras. So for us, I'm sure we'd be putting our remote camera in the back there just so we can keep an eye on what's going on. Peace of mind. So that's it, we're at the end of our little tour, and there's only left really to say thank you again so much for making it happen, and of course Melissa, our patron, for doing the GoFundMe. And on that note, she doesn't know this yet, but we're gonna pass the baton to her because so many people have asked what we're gonna call this wonderful truck. There have been loads of suggestions, too many to mention, and I really think Melissa is gonna be the best one to pick one out of the hat. And when she's here in the very near future, I reckon it's gonna be one of those jobs she's gonna relish, and I hope you enjoy her choice. Let's go and see that special little someone. So here we are with the lovely Tiny Tim, and as you saw Greg working his magic once again, you can see he really relies on that. He needs that corrective gluing, and moving forward that's getting less and less, and he's getting straighter and straighter, so it's all heading in the right direction. With all those ebbs and flows in life, we've had the celebration of mine and Toby's birthday. We had to say a very sad farewell to Spider-Man, Toby's cat. We also have a couple of patients under the vet's care at the moment. We have Charlotte, who, along with Epilan, I think has just really struggled with that sustained heat over, well, it seems like it's been forever. Today we've got that change in the air, and I think it is the shape of things to come. I think it just feels like now we've had that break and we're keeping everything crossed. It stays as in the middle as possible for all the animals, but we've had the blood test done and we're giving them the treatment, so we just have to wait and see how it goes. But in the meantime, all that's left now to say is stay magical, and we'll see you next time. Cheeky.